Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Live with Mel. Vaccines have been a topic that has been debated since COVID-19 initially attacked the globe. Many people go back and forth discussing whether or not the vaccine is effective and whether or not they are going to take the vaccine. Now, with all the information coming out against the vaccine, majority of Americans are for the vaccine. At this moment, about 61% of the population in the United States are fully vaccinated, meaning that many of the people, the majority of Americans, do believe in the vaccine and in taking the vaccine to prevent themselves from getting COVID or to prevent themselves from having to go to the hospital because of COVID. Now, while the majority of Americans are vaccinated, there is still a population in the United States that is not vaccinated. And when we pull up maps looking at the states that are vaccinated and those that have low vaccination rates, it does look very similar to the election map. Now, states that voted for Joe Biden tend to have a higher percentage of the population that is vaccinated, while states that voted for Donald Trump seem to have a lower percentage of people vaccinated, with a few exceptions like Florida, which does have a higher vaccination rate. Now, many people believe that vaccines right now are falling on party lines. And it looks as though former President Trump, is trying to change that. It looks as though former President Trump is now coming on the scene and publicly endorsing the vaccine. Now, President Trump has been someone who has supported the vaccine since they started making it. However, in the past couple of months during Biden's presidency, many people believe that President Trump has been too quiet about the vaccine. But now, with recent interviews, with recent appearances, President Trump seems to be pushing the idea of the vaccine a lot more. Now, when President Trump was running for re-election, when he was trying to be president again, he continuously talked about the vaccine on the campaign trail. He was a supporter of it. He said that the vaccine was going to come out soon, and he did state that the vaccine would allow people to go back to more of a normal life. Once President Biden was elected into office and Trump won the election, once President Trump lost, he was a lot more quiet. But it does seem a lot that because President Trump was quiet about the vaccine, many people who supported President Trump saw that as that Trump did not support the vaccine. But with recent interviews, it is showing that Trump is a supporter of the vaccine. While he may not be a supporter of vaccine mandates, he is supporting the vaccine. And then let's go ahead and go to this comment. Amanda says, he's using it to promote positive traction to going to sway voters for 2024. Now, many people are saying there's different reasons why President Trump is now supporting the vaccine publicly. Some people are saying that because if he does not support it publicly, a good chunk of his base could possibly pass away. People are saying that it is for the 2024 election. But at the end of the day, Trump supporting the vaccine is a good thing, because he is opening the eyes of people who may not have thought the vaccine was effective. Now, with these recent interviews, one of the interviews that he did do was with Candace Owens. And during this interview, he doubled down on his support of the vaccine. He definitely doubled down and endorsed the vaccine even when Candace Owens tried to sway him away from the vaccine. Now, he stated that the vaccine is one of the greatest achievements of mankind. Again, this is what he told Candace Owens. And even as Candace Owens tried to have other talking points against the vaccine, he really did double down and decide that he was going to stand strong in his endorsement of the vaccine. Now, one of the biggest differences, he is supporting the vaccine, but it does look as though he is still against mandates. Now, other things that he said to Candace Owens was that the vaccine works and that people aren't dying when they take the vaccine. He said, look, the results of the vaccine are very good. And if you get COVID, it's very minor form. People aren't dying when they take the vaccine. Now, again, this is what President Trump has stated to the vaccine. Now, something else that he is stating is that he is trying to take credit for the vaccine, and he is trying to say that his administration is the administration that really did get the vaccine together and push it out to the public in record time. He stated in the interview with Candace Owens, I came up with a vaccine with 3 vaccines. All are very, very good. Came up with 3 of them in less than 9 months. Now, again, this is what he stated about his administration. He is trying to have his administration take credit for the vaccine. And in all reality, the creations of the vaccine did occur during his presidency. He was the administration in place when they were working on the vaccine. And if you go back and if you listen to debates, if you listen to him on the campaign trail, when he was trying to get reelected, this is one of the things that he did talk about time and time again, about how they were going to roll out the vaccines, how he was going to push out the vaccines, and how the vaccines would be out in a certain time frame. And we have to be honest, when we look at the vaccines, Trump was correct with his timeline when it came to the vaccines. He was pushing for the vaccines. He did say that the vaccines were going to come out in this time frame. And again, many people, including Democrats, were very wary about the time frame. They said that it may have been too soon, that it may not have been effective. But once the vaccines did come out, many people supported it, both Democrats and Republicans. And they did have this big push for vaccinations. Now, Joanna says, and we're going to pull up the comments now. Joanna says, I agree with Amanda in causing him to spiral because his unvaccinated conservatives and followers are seeing it as an insult. Now, again, at the moment, many of Trump's supporters are pushing back against Donald Trump saying this. They have booed him. He was at an event with O'Reilly, and when he said that he had received his COVID booster shot, he was booed. He was booed off stage. He said it was a small part of the audience, but he was booed. And many of his base are, in a sense, feeling betrayed at the time. There have been videos coming out of Trump supporters being upset that at some of Trump's establishments, there are restaurants that are requiring vaccinations. They're saying that Trump should be able to pay the fine since it's part of his establishments. Many of his supporters are being very wary of what he's saying. But if we go and we look at Trump's track record when it comes to the vaccinations from the very beginning, while he was on the campaign trail, he has been a supporter of the vaccine. And one of the things that probably sparked the idea that vaccinations and Trump didn't necessarily go together was his silence in the past several months. But while he has been silent publicly at some of his rallies in the fall, he did state that the vaccines work, and he was booed when he said that as well. So while Trump has been someone who is vaccinated, so let's look at it this way. Trump is vaccinated. He was one of the first people to be vaccinated. Trump has his booster shots, and even though a few weeks ago he stated that he didn't know if he was going to take the booster, he has come out and publicly stated that he has the booster shots. So from the 2020 election to now, Trump has been fully vaccinated. He has been pushing the vaccine, but it looks as though his base is not necessarily agreeing with this, that they are upset. And we're seeing time and time again when he was booed with O'Reilly and when he was booed back in the fall when he spoke about the vaccine being good. Now, Amanda said he was booed in, I believe, Alabama at a rally where he told everyone to get vaccinated, and he was. He was at one of his rallies. He told people to get vaccinated, and he was booed. And this Alabama rally happened back in the fall. So right now, his base, his supporters, are the ones who are pushing back against the vaccine. But it looks as though they're pushing back against President Trump as well. President Trump has been for the vaccine since before he left office. But there is a different narrative that has been going around in his base, where his base is not supporting the vaccines, where they don't want to get vaccinated. Now, again, he has been a supporter. He has continued to support the vaccines time and time again, but it looks like the base that follows him are not for it. Now, while former President Trump is for the vaccines and he believes that people should get vaccinated, the one thing that he is against are mandates. He is still against mandates of any kind. When Candace Owens was interviewing him, he did talk about mask and mask mandates, and he essentially said that kids should not be wearing masks. And it looks as though the science with masks has stayed the same. Many people believe that masks are helping, and especially with younger kids. But still, President Trump is still against the mask mandates and vaccine mandates as well. He stated, "I don't like to see the kids with masks on. They're sitting in school. They have a hard enough time sitting in school." And again, this is what he's stating about masks. So while he is still supporting vaccines, while he's saying that people should get vaccinated, even while people boo him, because his base is booing him. Back in the fall in Alabama, when he said people should get vaccinated, they booed him. When he was with O'Reilly on O'Reilly's tour, and he said that the vaccine was good and that he got his booster, people booed him. So even though his base is booing him, he is still supporting vaccines. However, he is against the mandates. He does not believe that the government should tell people to get vaccinated, and he does not believe that the government should put mandates in place to have masks, even though both of those things seem to be one of the driving forces with getting people vaccinated. We saw the increase in vaccinations once the government said that their population had to get vaccinated. If you went to work, you had to get vaccinated. We saw vaccine increase when private companies said that you have to get vaccinated. We are seeing that the mandates do work, and they do allow the population to be more protected when they put mandates in place. While they work, Trump and Trump's base still do not support the vaccine mandate, nor do they support the mask mandates. But while Trump does not support the mandate, it is important to know that Trump has and has continued to support the vaccine. But not only does he support the vaccine, he wants the credit for the vaccine as well. He wants the credit. He told Candace Owens that his administration is the one that created all three vaccines, that his administration was the reason why the vaccines came out so quickly, why they came out in record-breaking times. He told Candace Owens that he is the reason that the vaccine came out in 9 months. And he wants credit for it. He wants people to know that the vaccine is good and that he is the reason why there is a vaccine. So it does make people question, if Trump is trying to take credit for the vaccine, if Trump is trying to tell people to get the vaccine, why his base is still against the vaccine. It does raise a lot of questions. But again, if you look at the maps of the elections, and then you look at the maps of the states that are vaccinated, states that voted for President Biden have a higher vaccination rate. States that voted for President Trump have a lower vaccination rate. There are some, like I said before, there are some states that are the oddball. Florida is highly vaccinated, but besides Florida, the election map and the vaccine map are almost completely lining up. So if President Trump wants credit for the vaccine, if President Trump wants people to get vaccinated, why is his base still afraid of getting the vaccine? Why are they still not wanting to go and get vaccinated? Many can say that there's a possibility that his base is moving away from him, that his base may not support him as much as they used to, that his base is moving away, that they took his ideas, that they took what he believed in, and they're moving away from it and following other politicians who are against the vaccine, following other politicians who are against the mask. Again, President Trump has been vocal during the election cycle about the vaccine. He was quiet after he lost the election, but now he is publicly endorsing the vaccines once again. He's publicly endorsing it. He wants not only is he publicly endorsing it, he wants credit for the vaccines. But his base may not support him with this. His base may be moving away from him. and be moving towards politicians who support their idea that they should not get vaccinated. So, guys, what are your opinions? Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about President Trump now publicly endorsing on these conservative shows, at these conservative rallies, at these conservative tours, the vaccine? Do you think that President Trump has always supported the vaccines, or do you think this is just a political move to ensure that his base survives the coming winter? So, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and we'll go to this. So, Joanna says, all the above. He wants credit for the vaccine. He now wants all to be vaccinated. He wants to be president again, and will say and do whatever it takes to get him there. So that is one opinion. So, guys, let me know what you think. Again, if you agree with me, that's great. Let me know in the comment section below. If you do not agree with me, that's great as well. Let me know in the comment section as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Mel. I come live every single Monday through Thursday to talk to you guys about current events and let you know what's happening across the globe and right here in this great nation as well. I'll see everyone bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a great day, everybody.